So here we are on the Rift, VS leading 1-0 in the group stage. Now, we haven't said this earlier. We haven't really talked about the standings, so to speak, you know, even though we are only in week 1, but both teams are coming into week 2 with a 2-0. So it would be great for EBO to split this, you know, to not give VS that maximum 3 points and grab a point for themselves. So that's going to be something that EBO is going to look for, and they also do not want a repeat of the winter exhibition match where they got 2-0'd by VS. EBO looking quite strong at the start of game 1. Let's see if they can do anything. Now it looks like it's EBO's turn for a little bit of cheese. 4 members waiting in, but the whole team of VS is here. They do catch Waffle. Waffle is forced to flash out as he drops tremendously low. First blood going over to Cavalry on that Jinx, but is caught out of the bind. They just need to get out of that, and the disengage coming out from Vel'Koz is going to be enough. But before I say that, he is forced to flash over the Dragon Pit. And first blood going over to EBO.
Yeah, and it's on Cavalry, which is the #1 target. You get that first blood, you get that Jinx going early. The BF sword's a bit closer in reach, so we'll hopefully that's gonna help bot lane snowball a bit.
There it is. They do help out Kustori to pick up his first buff. Is going to smite it away. Unfortunately, he will not be able to gain the Crump buff, but does have that blue for regen. And it looks like both lanes are just going to equalize here. Valorant helping his jungler yet again, considering the fact that it was Waffle to die. A little bit late as well. Looney Tune going a little bit aggro onto Momochi, but binding does miss. And the level 2 is going to be in favor, I believe, of EBO down in the bot lane, as Valorant is still level 1. Could make something with a death sentence. Death sentence does miss. Little kind of a slippery target, you know, with that speed boost available to her. I think definitely outpokes the Thresh during laning phase.
Yeah, there isn't a very, very annoying support to go against. Lots of poke and damage and shields.
Now, I hopefully don't see Valorant going AP on a Lulu support. I think she is a lot stronger when it's utility based, considering the fact that they don't have that late game and they just really need to protect that Lucian in Rambo. And if Rambo is able to get far enough ahead, he should do well to close out that game early before Jinx is able to obliterate him. Now that top lane farm is going in favor of Planeswalker. Something that probably is to be expected.
Yeah, Heimerdinger has a very easy time farming. You just place your turrets and then they just last hit for you.
Oh, well, here it is. Another gank coming up from Kustori onto Looney Tune. Looney Tune should be safe as binding hits. Actually, Waffle coming in for the counter gank. Will go into Kustori, forcing him out. Now, speaking of which, that's an interesting buy. Kustori has already gone back, but instead of finishing his jungle item, he picks up boots. Wanting to put some early pressure with that mobility onto the map, but an interesting pickup regardless. Nice poke coming out from Valorant in the bot lane. Death sentence will land on him, actually deciding to go in, but Rambo pressures Cavalry out there. Valorant falling dangerously low. Yeah, another death sentence will spell disaster for him. Summoner's still up though for both ADCs, going to be able to pop that heal if needed. Planeswalker just dancing between his towers in the top lane. Again, not really a care in the world. Valorant is looking quite itchy to go onto Cavalry, wanting to make something happen. Now, if Aldris misses his death sentence, they will have a window of opportunity to go in on this. Meanwhile, CS advantage in the mid lane is a lot substantially closer than last time.
A lot substantially?
A lot substantially closer. I could not pick one, had to say both. But there it is, the Flash forcing out, getting peppered with that ultimate rockets. Kustori going to help his top laner hold the lane. Flash forced out from Valorant, but Waffle Waffle engages. Thankfully, the laser from Momochi is going to do so much damage and picks up a kill on Valorant. He was so low.
They have to be careful for the Lux laser, though.
They do, as she comes in. Cavalry falling dangerously close, but Looney Tune actually flashing in. Miscommunication because his team was not here to back him up. Finally, Rambo and Waffle Waffle engage. Rambo gets caught by a death sentence, though not doing any damage. Is forced to get out of there as Waffle Waffle will end up flashing out of way. Oh, the Flay and Zap both missing. And
he flashed the Zap, the Flay.
Oh, Waffle Waffle getting away with his life, but a lot of damage gonna be put down onto this bottom turret. Rambo needs to get out of there. He is toying with fate. Ends up actually pushing the wave out, and is just going to recall. Now, Kustori is doing a good job covering his lanes this time. Momochi roaming down that bot, had the wave pushing on his turret, and Kustori able to pick up that free farm there. Again, Trailblazers picking up, Valorant being quite annoying, trying to stop or delay the backs of that EBO bot lane. And with that, Jinx is ahead a BF sword to the pickaxe of Lucian. Doing quite well on the road to carrying his team to victory in Game 2. EBO looking just so much stronger this game in the laning phase.
Yeah, I like I do like how Kustori ganks. Even if he's not getting kills, he puts the pressure on the map.
Yeah, you know, forcing out flashes, helping his lanes get the kill later on, knowing that there is no flash available for it. But Momochi going on to Looney Tune, doing quite a bit of damage, and there's the laser coming out from Looney Tune. The shield will be enough to make him survive, but it's just going to be an auto attack from Momochi. Flashing for it too.
Looks like Vel'Koz has the stronger laser.
It does, the more consistent laser too. And I believe he picked up the blue buff from Looney Tune. So Looney Tune getting denied Kustori, though, making his presence known down in the bot lane. Rambo and Valorant already backing off.
You can see the CS lead now on Jinx over the Lucian, which shouldn't happen in this matchup.
Yeah, considering the fact that Jinx does take a little bit while to ramp up to, Lucian should be able to kind of poke her out with that double shot and mobility. But it looks like Kustori...
I would like to see some more wards, though, from Thresh.
Oh, Kustori going into Valorant. Trying to do a bit of damage there. It looks like they really want to set up for this dragon. Wards this game favoring heavily on EBO. A nice change from what I like to see.
I like them deeper if you're ahead.
Yeah. Now, Nomicon actually finished for Momochi in the bot lane. Actually, there it is. The poke coming in onto Cavern, punishing him there. Rambo is 6 now, wanting to do something with it. Now, as I was saying, Nomicon now finished for Momochi in the mid lane too. Only a Chalice on Looney Tune. Quite the big advantage of that. Cavalry doing nice poke with the rockets, but Waffle getting caught out in the jungle will be able to EQ away, but the laser is going to pick up the kill. Yeah, the ulti coming out from Sejuani to lock him into place makes for an easy laser, and Momochi will pick up another kill. 3-0-2. That Vel'Koz is starting to get big.
And he can do some insane damage, especially with his passive late game. His laser starts doing about 300-400 true damage.
And I'm impressed, Momochi on those skill shots with the knockups have been so on point, able to trade very efficiently against Looney Tune. Yeah. Unfortunately, his Qs have not been hitting, but his knockups have. Planeswalker, though, bullying this Maokai underneath his turret. CS advantage, again, just so heavily in his favor. Twinkie not able to sustain that lane. As a Maokai, a big Maokai player yourself, if you're going Roa, I'm pretty sure Catalyst is the first thing you buy. No, not the Blasting Wand.
Yeah, Catalyst is ideal. I would personally have built a Spectral Cowl first versus Heimer, because you are going to harassed, and you have enough damage with Jinx and Vel'Koz. You don't really need to worry about the Rod of Ages. You can just go full tank. So yeah, I'm a little interested why he went Blasting Wand first, but he picked up the Catalyst now, and hopefully he can start trading a bit better.
Yeah, or even just picking up the CS back. He is getting harassed quite a bit, having to go up for that CS with that turrets. But he does lose his T1 tower with that back. Hopefully is going to be able to freeze that wave to him if Planeswalker keeps on pushing, though. And as you said, the Cal would be a good choice. A lot of players are starting to rush for the Glory on Maokai as well, just because he does do nice base damage, and he does have Momochi and Cavalry. But here comes the laser from Looney Tune again. Barrier and shield not going to be enough.
That's some insane damage. Like, Momochi's going to be taking over this game pretty soon once the team fights hit.
Yeah, and Koo's story, just in case, was waiting in the wings there. Waffle trying to defend this turret, but it was a mistake. Will pick up... Oh, actually, Planeswalker will pick that up. But we'll trade 1 for 1. And save the tower. So in all essence, it is worth for Waffle. But it's only a matter of time before Momochi is going to take that middle turret, and it's going to probably result in a dragon afterwards, opening that map just a little bit more for EBO.
Yeah, surprised there's been no dragons, but that actually works in EBO's favor. Because that's, as I said, the dragon fight is where VS has a chance to get back in it.
Yeah, and both ADCs have yet to go back, sitting on probably a lot of money. Yep, sitting on a lot of money. Jinx, both of them actually sitting on more than 2k, will be able to finish out at least their Infinity Edge. Q Story going to protect his T1 tower. In return, Momochi is just behind him.
Maokai picks up top turret because of Heimer's roaming.
Yeah, it looks like they were thinking about maybe a lane swap, considering the fact that Planeswalker stayed mid for quite a long time. But looks like he is going to head back to that top turret. Now that wouldn't be the worst matchup for Lux going against a Maokai, considering the fact that he has yet to finish that Roa as well. but EBO pressuring that bottom turret now. Kusori in the middle of the river. Momochi poking a little bit on Waffle.
Thresh is actually still sitting on his trinket ward, and he has a sightstone. He hasn't swapped it out yet.
Yeah, that little bit of a mistake. Might need to get that sorted out. Now, you could always upgrade that for a pink. I've seen that been the answer, considering the fact that pinks are quite a bit, but there's the laser. And Looney Tune just can't do anything. Speaking of which, Aldra is getting caught out. Oh, nice flashing the Cataclysm and the heal from Cavalry, saving his support.
I think Waffle was trying to hand that over.
Oh, there it is, but in the meantime, they're going to go on Planeswalker. Nice ulti from Kustori will secure the kill. Momochi is already here, but Planeswalker doing cool. The dancing. He put on his dancing shoes there, but in the end, it is not enough, and Momochi picks up his 6th kill of the game. This Vel'Koz.
Actually, look at Jinx's farm. She's up to 141. So she's quietly getting fed, and the focus is going to be on Vel'Koz. They might even forget that Jinx can do some insane damage once she has that Infinity Edge.
Yeah, and that's just it. She hasn't gone back, only now picking up the IE, so she had just hit her spike as well. While Rambo, even with all the money that he was sitting on, not able to complete his IE. That is highly unfortunate. Lucian should hit that spike before Jinx and wants to fight. But VS backed up in the corner, with this huge Vel'Koz in the way. And honestly, Twinkie is only getting started on that Maokai as well. Waffle actually pushing back Twinkie, protecting the blue, going over to Looney Tune. Meanwhile, EBO finally gets that bottom turret. As 3 men from VS siege EBO's mid. Waffle comes to join the party. Kustori gets caught out. The EQ combo is good, and the Cataclysm will help secure the kill for Looney Tune. Valorant needs to get out of dodge as the laser will come in. Nice. Wild growth coming in from Valorant will save his life. The Ultra Mega Death Rocket is not going to be enough. Planeswalker in the midst of it all. Aldra's falling quite low. The culling is going to get blocked out by Twinkie. And so far, how has no one died? And just like that, it's only going to be Kusori. And they protect that T1 turret. But everyone blinking red on the side of EBO.
And the Lux ult is up. They need to get out of here.
Yeah, even sitting on an Athene's, the base damage on that Lux ult is going to be quite enough. Should be enough. As the T1 mid turret for EBO falls. There's the Lux laser. Oh, the heal being popped out by Cavalry to save that mid. Great work. Actually, no! Momochi has the Summoner heal spell, so that was his own heal. Oh, Looney Tune catching 2 members with that bind. Needs to get out of there. Now, VS does have eyes on the Dragon Pit. But EBO doesn't really need to make things anything happen right now.
Maokai should be... There we go. Maokai is spamming the sapling. It's a huge way to get free vision.
A lot both, but he does get caught out by a bind! And Looney Tune will pick him up. EBO losing pressure on this dragon fast.
And this is where VS can get back in the game.
Yeah, and that, just like that, VS actually picks up the first dragon of the game 20 minutes in, and this is exactly what we were talking about. EBO...
They do trade mid.
It is a good trade, but EBO cannot get drawn into these dragon fights because this is where VS wants to fight. But I can't only assume Valorant getting caught out though, trying to juke a to and fro. Does drop low. Wild Growth are getting dropped on him. Looney Tune with a laser. Barrier is going to be enough to survive, but the flash from Koo Story. Double kill in behind from Cavalry, doing great amounts of work. And as you said, it's almost as if VS has forgotten that they had an ADC Ultra Mega Death Rocket not hitting anything, as Waffle Waffle was actually quite low. Blinking Red going to recall. As EBO is trying to push in towards that T2. Meanwhile, a huge farm wave pushing in favor of VS in that top lane. Will need someone to address that. Now, Momochi does pick up a Liandry's first item. Not the very, it's not the worst choice he could pick up, considering the fact that, his laser will take that percentage health, but no one on VS is really that tanky. I would have favored quite a bit more on the death cap, just to put that huge amount of damage, or even just sit on the Haunting guys if you want the pen. Meanwhile, Looney Tune does pick up a sneezily large rod. So he's
Vel'Koz actually has insanely high base damage, so getting that flat pen with the sword boots and then the health drain on top of that, you can be seeing Vel'Koz destroy an entire team with his laser right now.
And I guess they do have the Jinx to clean up with her rockets at the backline. Vel'Koz really so big right now. Just could help feed his ADC just a little bit more. But the real champs of this story is going to be EBO's two carries, Momochi and Cavalry, so huge right now, sitting on a perfect game at the moment. But
actually fighting in lane is going to be good for EBO because it lines up all their straight line damage.
And if VS do get caught out by a Sejuani ulti, that could spell lights out. Planeswalker doing a lot of damage onto Cavalry though with his ultimate rockets. But Twinkie will go in on Planeswalker. Wild Growth being dropped on him as Planeswalker is trying to get out of there, but a huge Sejuani ulti! And the laser will pick up a double kill from Momochi, but they're not done yet. Cavalry will pick up Waffle Waffle, getting that a reset there. Heal being popped out as he wants Valorant. Zap will give him vision, and that's going to be a double kill for both EBO carries as they siege that T2. And Kusari is just going to face tank it. Actually huge right now, having that Warden's Mail and Giant's Belt. And
I'm actually very impressed with Twinkie's re-engage. He flashed W onto Heimer, knowing Heimer's ult was down. Just insane amount, and Planeswalker too far up. Great call on Twinkie to re-engage.
Yeah, and just like that, because EBO's wave control was just so much better than VS, they will pick up 2 turrets for the price of 1, and now the rotation's coming bot because they have the wave pushing in their favor. And with Jinx being able to just destroy towers, that's going to be 3 turrets for EBO. Great rotations and great wave control coming out from EBO this game. This was one of the things that I was talking about. They let their T1s fall from bad recalling and bad wave management, and this game it looks like they just turned it around. VS having their backs against the wall this game. Looking a little bit dire for them, as the map is just lit up with wards from EBO. The warding game coming out from VS, not as strong as in game 1, but that can be totally expected considering the fact that they are so far behind. Now, talk to me a little bit about these itemizations. Some interesting items actually coming out from both teams. Primarily that Frozen Gauntlet on that Maokai.
He's going more damaging Maokai route, and it's actually something I've done in the past. Once you kind of get a lead, because Maokai has insane base damage, and so when you get that Iceborne, you're doing some pretty solid damage people aren't expecting. Tons of mana, you can keep your ulti up for days, so you actually have a lot of built-in tankiness. So I don't actually mind that build at all.
Yeah, Planeswalker actually went into Momochi, but forcing out the flash from him will save his life. Not picking up anything there. It looks like VS is just roaming as 5 men. Dragon has respawned now. They did pick up the first dragon, so they do want to get that. Meanwhile, Thresh getting caught out by himself. Nice ulti from Kustori as they engage onto this. Nice Cataclysm in the back line, but I don't think it's enough. Wild Growth will keep up Waffle alive for almost just for a second. But this fight going heavily in favor of EBO right now as Rambo is untouched though. He is on Nice flash in. Shutdown coming up from Rambo as the fight is actually barely even.
VS takes it though.
But VS takes it by 1 kill, and they will secure their second dragon of the game. Big plays coming out from Rambo that he touched in the backline, waiting for everyone to blow their cooldowns. And unfortunately, Momochi's laser was not available that fight.
No, the laser was up. It actually got cancelled out by Jarvan. EQ Catalysm.
During the ulti, it's not something that I saw, but yeah, there was a great Cataclysm in the backline. Ending up canceling that ulti. Not something that they want to full channel.
And the Sej ulti didn't quite land. It landed on 3 people, but the stun didn't apply. It was at the very tip of it, so it was just a slow, and Momochi couldn't combo up with it efficiently.
Yeah, with that too, Alindris was poked out. He wasn't with the team. He was kind of in the flank. I don't know what he was trying to do. Trying to land probably a flanking death sentence. Not really working out for him, as it would have been alright. But Rambo actually flashing for the kill will pick up Cavalry, getting that shutdown gold. Slowly trying to catch up on that. The second dragon being picked up. Looney Tune. Oh, nice death sentence. Is forced to flash out, but nice binding to disengage. It does have the team here to help him. Will make it out alive.
I would have liked to see in the Sejuani ulti there. Even though it's one person, that pick could have led to an inhib tower.
And the pings do go down. Planeswalker doing a nice job split pushing top. They do send out Twinkie up there. Nice Lux Laser dropping Cavalry quite low. And it does force EBO to back away. A little wins coming out from VS though. They do love the slugfest of games, so they are trying to draw this out as they love to team fight. Though I don't know how well they're going to do with such a hyper carry such as Drinks. Valorant taking a lot of poke though from Momochi. Meanwhile in the top lane, that duel continues to go. Planeswalker asserting his dominance against Twinkie.
And with no magic resist really built on Maokai yet, that duel is going to go Planeswalker's way until he can pick up something to stop the damage.
But look at the wave bot lane. EBO has done such a great job getting that wave pushing towards them. Looney Tune getting hit by the zap. The slow is going to be enough. The Wild Growth will not be able to save him. And that's going to be a big laser. Picking up Valorant as well. And with a 10-1-7 Vel'Koz, a 7-1-6 Jinx. What is VS going to do? A TP coming in from Maokai 2 to help secure this inhib, but
this should go right to bottom.
Rambo doing his best to clear out the wave, protecting that 2 down inhibs will be quite difficult for VS to handle.
They do back off with the respawns coming up. It's only 30 minutes in the game, so about 28 to 30-second respawn timers right now.
Yeah, and the Heimer is actually a pretty good pick to stall a game out. Able to deny the waves pushing into you with your turrets, but I don't know if VS has an answer to this commanding lead that EBO has set out for themselves during the laning phase. And that's where we talked about. EBO did have such a strong laning phase, and I'm very happy to see that they identified their strength and played to that. You know, because VS definitely loves to team fight. And they have great team fight coordination. Meanwhile, EBO is more of that laning phase game and trying to snowball off the lead during that time.
I can't quite call VS out yet. They've been known to stall games to 50 minutes, and with a big wombo like they've made up this game. One big team fight late game, a couple long death timers, and that can end a game. So I'm not ready yet to call the game, but I'm impressed the EBO's lead, and I hope they can close it out.
Yeah, that's going to be the challenge here now, though, is if EBO can make the right moves to close this game. Their top wave is pushing in their favor. It's going to work well if they try to stall out in the bot lane. Nice warding coming out from them to gain full vision of VS's bottom jungle. Valorant trying to sweep, but this could be the catch that they need. A cool story coming out from behind. Valorant gets caught out. The binding, though, going to save his life. Sedge still has that ulti and is holding on. Dragon is going to spawn in 10 seconds. They might just rotate for it. The VS probably not in the position to contest this one. Meanwhile, Planeswalker...
This is where it gets... So this is where it gets scary. When VS's comps based around fights around Baron and Dragon, and they're not even able to contest the Dragon right now.
Yeah, so the first Dragon going over for EBO, while Planeswalker was trying to deal with that top lane. Did have TP available, but the warding was just too good for EBO, and with the super minions streaming into VS's base, they had to just go deal with that for fear of losing a Nexus Tower. And the rotations from EBO are on point right now. They know that with the pressure coming out from mid lane, they can easily take this Baron. And Cavalry is just going to destroy this on that Jinx. So Dragon and Baron going over on Waffle. Waffle will get caught out trying to face check the Baron pit, though. Will get caught out by the death sentence, and that is going to be one dead Jarvan. As EBO is...
Sejuani ulti was burnt.
Oh, yeah, as they are going to try to push this out. Now with supers down in the mid lane, they really should rotate bot to try to open up the map. There's Cavalry getting caught out with a bind, though. Eats a Lux Laser to the face. Unfortunately not doing enough damage. So with Twinkie having TP up, they should really do a 104 split push. And then Twinkie is going to be able to pressure that top turret with that Baron buff and will be able to TP down if needed. But it looks like all 5 members of EBO are just going to siege this bottom turret. Heimer not able to get his turret set up as they just fall to these Baroned up minions. But VS is trying to wave clear as best as they can. They do send Waffle in the mid lane to deal with the supers. Their inhib has respawned, so VS has the small window of breathing room. And this is where the split push from Twinkie would have been in their favor. They could have taken that last T2 quite easily. But just like that, VS repels the Baron push of EBO.
Well, Jinx is now going to go up top, pick up a lot of farm for herself, but yeah, that was almost a waste of Baron. It's about 3/4 of the way finished. So one last ditch effort to get that inhib, possibly as a 5-man team.
Yeah, and as I said, VS is slowly clawing their way back. Itemization-wise, that J4 lacking a little bit of MR, but does have a Frozen Heart to stop that Jinx if he catas into that backline, just like that first dragon fight. And Rambo is silently picking up, you know, items in the background. He has yet to die, and that will be the saving grace of VS. If they can just get Rambo a good team fight, protect him from everything that EBO has to throw at him. Maybe catching a Cavalry out with a Lux Bind would definitely turn a fight around for them. Static Shiv picked up for Lucian, though. Nice to help with a little bit of the wave clear, considering that they do have their backs against the wall. Unfortunately, warding is almost non-existent for VS, as they can't even leave their base for fear of getting picked off with the amount of CC that EBO has. But this is what VS is known for. Defending the Alamo and dragging games out. But Cavalry will pick up that inhibitor, as wave 2 of super minions will be flooding into VS's base. Planeswalker trading a little bit with Twinkie. Finally, Twinkie picking up that Spectral's Cowl. So we'll have a little bit of MR against the Lux and Heimer. But I definitely like the Void Staff pick onto that Lux. She definitely needs to do the pen. But Twinkie getting caught out a little bit. Waffle Waffle with the EQ combo will pick up that kill for his team. Lux later to going in, and bad rotation onto Twinkie. And just like that, Valorant likes his chances. The cool story will stop the aggression, though, with a nice ultimate to disengage from that. VS is continuing to chase this, though. They have to watch out for the re-engage from EBO. It looks like the pings from VS are just going to stop the aggression, pushing out. But a big mistake from Twinkie, getting caught out. Just a little slow on his rotating. Meanwhile, Dragon is going to spawn in 10 seconds. Unfortunately, VS does not have the timer for it, as they pick up the Baron Scuttle, knowing that it should spawn relatively soon.
Well, the Scuttle is a little glitched out there. Kind of stayed in one spot.
Able to work in their favor, but pings now from VS onto the Dragon Pit. They might want to contest this one. It will be their third dragon if they do pick it up, so the extra movement speed will be nice to help kite and rotate versus the EBO squad. EBO is going to start it up, though, but it's going to go over to EBO. The damage from Jinx is just a little too much. Unfortunately, the smite miss from Koo Story, so possible steal coming out from VS. Meanwhile, Looney Tune gets slightly caught out, but Valorant actually will be picked off. Trying to apply that slow to help save Looney Tune will cost his life. The life of the support, as EBO will just face tank this bottom inhib turret. Koo Story sitting on a Randuin's. It's
No, I
actually
do like
quite
the
tanky.
sidestone spot by both junglers. I actually just noticed that now.
Yeah, yeah, no, really great pickup considering both junglers are on the tanky side, providing just utility for their team. They don't really need to do all that much damage. Um, just there for their CCs on ultimates. But EBO will pick up their second inhib, putting a little bit of pressure. VS going to try to contest this Baron though. I don't know how this call is. Death Sentence does miss from Aldris. But the laser coming up from Momo is going to drop Valorant low, but the shield is so... There is shields for days onto VS. Meanwhile, this fight is going in favor of VS, and somehow VS picks up an ace! Oh my goodness, double kill for both Rambo and Looney Tune, as they will also pick up a Baron. What just happened? Planeswalker unfortunately dying to that Baron, staying a little bit too long, but 3 members of VS is going to have Baron, and that fight just went all the way in VS's favor. Now, going back, the Momochi only ultied Valorant, and the shields coming out from Looney Tune, Wild Growth, and the heals was enough to keep Valorant alive. And honestly,
As a little misfocus on the side of EBO.
yeah, and Jinx was segregated away from that whole fight. Waffle able to EQ in the pit, and the DPS from Baron was able to help do enough damage to Cavalry as he falls in the Baron pit. That was the best case scenario coming out from VS, giving them a little bit of breathing room, waiting for inhibs to respawn, and they pick up the Baron buff.
As I said, the VS had a comp to play around Baron and Dragon perfectly, so...
Yeah, a fight that I thought EBO just had in the bag just went absolutely in favor of VS, considering the fact that, again, Momochi not having the best focus with his laser, needing to focus on the swishy targets, but a great job on VS as they try to defend their middle inhib. Nice binding coming out of Looney Tune. Will protect that middle inhib for the time being. Rambo was able to push out their bottom wave though. Give them a little bit of breathing room from the supers. But a huge wave is now forming down there. Needs some addressing issues. Meanwhile, top lane is pushing in favor of VS though. EBO will need to send somebody back, and they do. It will be Cavalry in there. Nice QSS pickup though from Rambo. Just wanted to touch on that. Is sitting on actually a Yumu's going there. I'm surprised he didn't go for Last Whisperer.
Yeah, it's I think he was more working with a little bit less gold, so he thought the Brutalizer was a better immediate pickup, and wasn't quite worth selling it to try to get Last Whisper, so he just went down the Yumu's Ghostblade route.
And it's not a bad choice considering the fact that it does give him more movement speed and able to kite there. Nice Zonya's coming out from Momochi, but Cataclysm will pick up the kill. Valorant actually takes that out. Bloodthirsty support coming up there, and they are going to siege this T2. And without Momochi's wave clear, they're going to be a little bit in trouble. Cavalry is here to help clear it out. But another interesting pickup, Valorant actually picks up a needlessly large rod. I don't know how I feel about this.
He was sitting on 1600 gold, and he thought YOLO.
But the YOLO is right. I feel like almost a locket would have been better. He does have that Kindle gem for it, but we'll have to see how it works out. And VS is going to pick up the third dragon. Ultra Mega Death Rocket.
Nice try.
Oh, was very close. But they need to recall fast as EBO is trying to stampede down mid lane. Are going to get an inhib for their troubles, though I don't see them defending. Maybe I spoke too soon. The caster's curse is real. And VS actually make it in time to defend that inhib.
I think EBO is actually a little bit hesitant now. They weren't expecting the ace to come out, and now they don't exactly know what to do. They kind of are scared to teamfight.
Yeah, and that is just the mistake right there, because EBO just has the stronger team fight in abilities. But as I said, VS love to stall games out because their team fight is so good. Even with champions that you would think don't scale as well, their focus and shot calling are just so good. Rambo gets caught out with a death sentence though. Kites back. Aldris is thrown into the middle of the team. Planeswalker is forced to Zonius right now. Nice Cataclysm in the back line. Rambo is gone untouched. Laser coming from Momochi is not going to be enough to pick up Planeswalker as he drops low. Everybody from VS is still quite alive. Now triple kill coming out from Cavalry though as Rambo tries to duel him. GA is popped as Cavalry picks up the quadra kill. Meanwhile, Planeswalker is able to pick up the double. But Cavalry is alive thanks to that GA. But let's be honest, that's it. That's all EBO can pick up from this. Planeswalker is going to be able to wave clear that top turret. Cavalry needs to respect the damage coming out from Planeswalker as he gets chunked out by a grenade. But a 4 for 3 trade. Yeah, a 4 for 3 trade in favor of EBO, and they do pick up the double inhibs. But VS is going to be able to defend their base, as they are going to respawn shortly, and Planeswalker able to wave clear those minions out of it. Supers have yet to reach their base. But
they need to set up for Baron. It's up in 15 seconds.
Yeah, all things considering, not the worst trade VS could have.
I don't know. Rambo did die for the first time this game. That could affect their scores in the end.
Affect the morale. But they do pop that Jinx GA. She will not have it for the next fight. As she actually...
she did sell it though.
Yeah, she just...
I like that. I like that she sold it.
She did sell it for a Banshees. So that's good, smart, on-the-fly thinking from Cavalry. Knowing that GA is really not that great. Does give you the resist, but you usually get it for the active only. The Rambo was left untouched, kind of dashing in though into the middle of EBO. That fight, trying to pick it up. The kill onto Cavalry. Does finish off his Bloodthirst to the Valorant, dropping quite low. Coup Story goes in. Ultra Mega Death Rocket, not enough to finish Valorant off. Death Sentence missing from Aldris. And the TP actually cancelled.
That was a smart cancel.
By Planeswalker, and it looks like the Baron is going to go over in favor of EBO as VS is just going to back off. Lux Laser, not enough to pick it up as they did not have vision of it, unfortunately. So it's going to be second Baron for EBO as they try to take... try to end this game, actually. in their second attempt with Baron. And it was a smart disengage coming out from VS, knowing that they could not fight that Valorant, getting chunked quite a bit before. And they are going to try. Oh wow! What a
Nice
snipe coming
nade.
out from Looney Tune onto Momochi, and that just halts a lot of EBO's aggression. Looney Tune going onto Aldris. Aldris getting caught out just a bit. Valorant is there. Cavalry going to flank from the side, help out his support as they try to push in that middle. Meanwhile, bot lane, there's a huge wave of super minions pushing in, being addressed by Valorant. And Waffle. But VS needs to push these minions out this bit, out of their base. Oh, mind you.
And Maokai should have been top pushing in with Telly up. They're leaving. They're basically leaving.
Yeah.
Oh, they're just gonna face tank it instead.
Yeah, Kusari gonna face tank it, dropping quite low, but this is it. A EQ combo from Waffle. Nice cataclysm on 3 people. A wild growth on him. The shutdown from Planeswalker onto Cavalry as he falls, but so does Kusari, and that's going to be 3-4-0 onto VS sides. Definitely chunking away that Baron from them. Meanwhile, on the back of it, the Twinkie also falls. What a
that's
blunder.
Why you don't face tank late game.
Oh, the blunder coming out from EBO. And yeah, even with the 2 Barons, they don't... EBO makes a bad decision on not putting that Baron buff on multiple lanes. Even with double super creeps going onto your base, they have been really subpar. And with death timers quite low, Cavalry is still dead for another 30-second. Momochi is alive though, will Aldris force the Zhonya's the Lux Laser. Aldris drops the box in, and Valorant going deep into the base of EBO, but they're just slowly working away at absolutely ignoring Aldris, and Rambo picks up that inhib turret. Now they need to watch the timers. They need to get out of dodge as they pick up that inhibitor. Meanwhile, off the back of this, the inhibs for VS have respawned. They look like they're just going to rotate and check on Dragon, and it is actually up. So they are going to work towards... They are 1 step away from that legendary 5th Dragon. Ultra Mega Death Rocket being blocked out by Rambo. Not able to steal that away from them. And VS... just absolutely blowing my mind right now, defending with their lives, halting this aggression from EVO. Now, it looks like EVO is a little bit lost. They don't really know what to do.
I think Cavalier actually should go back to buy that GA. The passive is up, and that's basically what won them the fight last time around, was having him respawn.
Yeah, they do have a lot of hopes on Cavalry. He needs to come up big for his team right now, as he is full build. But on the meantime, Rambo, 6th item, finished his Scimitar as well. Not going for that GA. I can't afford it. Just needs all the damage that he could possibly have. Hoping that the QSS is going to be enough, and the peel from his support Valorant. They need to keep a Rambo alive. That is VS's goal. If they are able to keep Rambo alive, I feel like a Rambo has enough outplay to bring this home for his team.
He's gonna double lift it.
Yeah, not to take anything away, the snipes from Looney Tune have been real as well, able to pick up kills on the backside with those lasers. Kind of turning these fights in favor of VS. And here in the late game, EBO on the rotations have been a little bit sloppy. Again, they have all the tools needed for them, but kind of forcing the issue when they have Baron, not able to close this out as cleanly. Brute forcing their way through, not paying off for them, but here it is. Aldris getting caught up. Rambo pops in. Big box coming in for the team. Nice Cataclysm in the back line. Cool Story actually zoning Rambo off though. Falls in. Waffle still alive thanks to the shield. And it's going to be a 2-for-2 trade right now on the backside as both ADCs still alive.
Jungle support for both sides falling.
Yeah, and it's going to be a 3-for-3 fight in the mid lane as they try to end this game. But Momo and Twinkie falling dangerously low. VS has the advantage as they can recall to Fountain and heal up. And supers are pushing in favor of VS, but meanwhile bot lane has a huge wave for VS. Definitely needs some addressed, and they are going to throw cavalry down there to clean it up, but that is a great pick opportunity coming from the 3-man, and the 3-man from VS is going to come in for the flank. Not able to, as Banshees is going to block out a lot of damage from cavalry. They don't pick up the kill or the tower for their efforts, but just trying to buy time as they are trying to close out this game. Now VS does have a great opportunity. They have clawed their way back, and just from their team fighting alone, they are in this game 100%. A game time is going to elapse almost an hour. And this is the games that VS lives for. Now VS trying to see.
They did promise us a 60-minute game this year.
They did indeed. And it looks like they're just going to start sieging this bottom inhib of EBO. Meanwhile, the top lane is pushing in their favor as well, finally getting some breathing room on their end as they have finally taken the offensive, 57 minutes into the game. Now Twinkie actually getting actually no, it's not Twinkie, it's Aldris getting caught out just a bit, able to get out of there, forcing the flash out of him though, as VS is now trying to push EBO back out. Meanwhile, they do need to send somebody top lane to push that wave back out. Now, Baron is live. VS needs to take a good team fight here to either end the game, or it might be lights out. Nice EQ combo, but a Cataclysm only landing onto Twinkie. Meanwhile, in the backline, Planeswalker gets caught out by Cool Story. Laser from Momochi is not going to pick up anything as he is forced to run away. Rambo is sitting on full health. But the re-engage coming out from Cool Story is only going to pick up one. Valorant dropping really low. The burn from Momochi is not going to be enough as he dies to the turret. Alandra is going to drop though the Planeswalker's turrets as they go into that. Double kill coming out from Planeswalker as he picks up Momochi with those rockets. And it's going to be a 1-for-2 trade for VS and the inhib. An intense fight coming out from these two teams as they are neck and neck on the backside. Waffle is going to pick up that 5th dragon, which is detrimental for his team right now. Rambo is trying to put as much pressure as he can, but he is in danger of being caught alone. Planeswalker is going to help Waffle, and that is going to be the 5th dragon to VS. Now this is their chance right now to turn the tables on EBO and pick up the kill. Even if EBO picks up the Baron buff, it's not going to hold a candle to the Dragon Slayer buff whatsoever, but pings coming down to VS on that Baron, knowing that it is up. And with supers pushing down mid for VS. It looks like they favor their chances for Baron. Momochi and Alindris are respawned now, so they could contest this Baron fight. And Cavalry has yet to pick up that GA again, favoring that Banshees. I don't know how much of a difference that could make right now, but the extra life would be nice. You know, I'm waiting for Rambo to sell his boots. I'm waiting for these ADCs to sell their boots and go Zephyr, but that has yet to happen. Even though they are sitting on quite a bit of gold. But it looks like the seeing a Cavalry show bot lane to deal with that wave is going to be the initiation for VS to pick up that Baron buff. And with 5 dragons and a Baron on VS, VS look to close this game out.
Is it gonna happen? Is this game gonna end?
With Baron and 5 dragons so strong, and the amount of team fighting synergy that VS has, they are just so good at team fighting. EVO will need a fantastic team fight to stop this aggression, as they just absolutely shred the second inhib tower.
Oh, here's the engage.
Waffle just face tanking 3 members. Cataclysm not really doing much for them, as Twinkie is able to get out of there. Valorant falls really low, forcing to Wild Growth themselves. Cool Story in the backline, though, will catch 3 members. Cavalry will pick up a kill on Valorant, but Planeswalker will answer with a kill of his own. Double kill for him as well. Rambo is trying to duel 2
doing work.
members of EVO. Cool Story and Twinkie, not enough. He will pick up a 1-for-1 though, as Waffle and Planeswalker will finish off.
Win,
and that is an ace for VS. And just like that, VS, after slugging it out for 63 minutes, will be able to close this game out and win against EVO 2-0 in this week 2 of the BCal Spring Split.